We've been told that science and religion contradict each other, that to be rational, you must abandon faith, that to be spiritual, you must abandon reason. But what if both were always looking at the same thing? What if every sacred text and every scientific breakthrough were trying to explain the same system from two different directions? What if what we call God is what physics calls the field? What if what we call creation is what mathematics calls code? What if enlightenment, salvation, ascension are all just words for alignment with the simulation? Across every continent, every culture, every century, humans have received patterns, laws, clues, not metaphors, not fantasies, not moral suggestions, but structure, system, a simulation. And we've been given the keys, we just didn't see them. This reality is not fixed, it's rendered, just like in a simulation. The architecture of everything you experience, thought, matter, time, even identity, is built on response, not permanence. It is generated in real time by your frequency, your focus, your choices. We are not inside a dead universe, we are inside a living code. Let's look at the evidence. From every tradition, every path, and every revelation of modern science. Because the deeper we look, the clearer it becomes. The ancient mystics and modern physicists are not in conflict. They are decoding the same reality. Hinduism, code before time. Hinduism may be the most openly metaphysical system in human history. The Upanishads speak of Brahman, the formless, infinite consciousness that projects itself into Maya, the illusion of separateness. Science now speaks of unified fields and simulations rendered by observation. The Rig Veda speaks of the universe originating from sound. In the beginning was the word. So does the Bible. So does quantum physics through cymatics, sound creating matter. The concept of karma is a cause and effect law not built on divine emotion but on energetic return. You send out a frequency, the system responds, instant or delayed, but exact. Physics speaks the same in Newton's third law and in information theory. Systems retain and return data. Hindu time is cyclical. Yugas cycle like cosmic seasons. This matches entropy, the oscillating universe theory, and the growing realization that time may not be linear, but folded. The Bhagavad Gita teaches non-attachment to outcome, perform action without craving the result. Quantum physics mirrors this. Until observed, the outcome does not collapse. Let go, and you remain in potential. The yogic chakras are vibrational centers. Now proven by neurobiology, these centers correspond to major nerve plexuses. Breath controls consciousness. Posture alters perception. Everything is frequency. The entire framework of Hindu cosmology points to a nested simulation-layered realms. Multiple cycles of creation and dissolution, gods as programmers of different functions, Vishnu the preserver, Shiva the transformer, Brahma the creator, all roles in an active, intelligent system. Buddhism, the observer is the system. Buddhism refuses to speak about a creator, but it speaks endlessly about mind. The Buddha taught that reality is projection, that the world we experience is a mirror of perception. Modern quantum physics now says the same. The observer collapses the wave. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. This is not poetry, it is quantum mechanics. What we see as form is collapsed emptiness, potential rendered by intention. Meditation is not escape, it is calibration. EEG scans show the brain moving into deep coherence during meditation. Alpha and gamma waves entrain, energy fields expand. Karma in Buddhism is not moral, it is mechanical. Action leads to consequence not because of judgment, but because of design. It is structural. The Bodhisattva vows to remain in the cycle until all beings are free. What is this if not a user who re-enters the simulation until the code is stabilized for others? Buddhism's simulation logic is deeply embedded. Samsara is the looping render. Nirvana is exiting the reactive pattern, not by escaping life, but by seeing through its false solidity. Taoism, the code is flow. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao, because truth is beyond language, but structure is felt. Taoism teaches that the way is effortless, the universe moves in harmony. When you resist, you create friction. When you surrender, life flows. This is not weakness, it is simulation fluency. Wu Wei, action without force, matches the quantum principle of allowing coherence. Let the field resolve itself. Yin and yang are not opposites, they are polarities required to render a complete cycle. Everything oscillates, light and dark, particle and wave, rest and motion. The Tao Te Ching says, "The master does nothing, yet leaves nothing undone." Modern simulation design speaks of efficient code, doing more with less, energy preserved, minimal interference, perfect responsiveness. Taoism also teaches that illusion is produced by separation. The moment you identify with form, rather than flow, the simulation renders suffering. Christianity: vibration, logos, and frequency. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was vibration, logos, order, instruction. Genesis describes reality emerging from speech. Let there be light is not poetry, it is a sound command becoming matter. In cymatics, sound generates geometry. Christ taught forgiveness, not to be soft, but to reset timelines. Forgive 70 times 7, not for ethics but for frequency. Let go or the system will loop you. As you sow, so shall you reap. Karma, rendered through your input. No action goes unseen by the system. Do unto others, because the field is shared. Every interaction is a code exchange. What you give is mirrored. The kingdom of God is within you. Consciousness, the seat of the simulation interface. When you purify your heart, you align your render. Christian mysticism, especially Gnostic Christianity, was simulation aware. The idea that this world is a veil, a test, a construct, and Christ came not to start a religion but to show the exit code. Islam: order, qadr, and code. Islam teaches qadr, divine decree, but not as blind fate, as written structure, the code behind the outcome. We have created everything in due measure. Quran 54:49 equals simulation parameters. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. Quran 24:35 equals rendering energy. Photon equals primary form. Light equals awareness. 5 prayers a day are not ritual. They are reset cycles, system alignment. Fasting in Ramadan is not hunger for virtue, it is code cleansing. Cellular repair, spiritual recalibration. Science shows autophagy and neuroplastic shifts during fasting. Zakat, giving 2.5% of your wealth, is not loss, it is flow. The simulation stagnates greed. Giving is code release, rewarded not by emotion but structure. Sujud, prostration, grounds the body, resets the heart. Neurobiological data proves parasympathetic activation during sajda. Frequency drop equals presence spike. Judaism, divine architecture, and multidimensional law. The Torah gives 613 commandments, not as rules, but as energetic disciplines. Kabbalah speaks of the Sephirot, 10 dimensions of divine manifestation. Physics speaks of 10-dimensional string theory. Ein Sof equals the unmanifest source, the singular field, quantum vacuum energy, hidden, yet everywhere. The Shema says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord is one," unity field, unified simulation source. The Sabbath is not a religious rule, it is a vibrational law. Rest resets the render cycle. Time collapses into presence. The body heals. Entropy resets. Tikkun Olam, repairing the world, is not social activism, it is quantum correction. Each conscious action realigns the grid. Sufism, the axis of stillness. Sufism is not just mystical Islam, it's a direct pathway to calibration. The whirling of the dervish is not ritual, it's resonance. It mimics the spiral of galaxies, of DNA, of the simulation's own design, fractal, spinning, centered. The heart is considered the throne of the divine, not metaphorically, but as an energetic epicenter. Modern studies confirm that the heart sends more data to the brain than the other way around. The heart is the tuning fork of the simulation. Dhikr, the repetition of divine names, is vibrational alignment, not prayer for favor but coding for field coherence. The frequency of divine names reshapes thought patterns, heart rhythms, and subtle energy layers. The Sufi path is one of surrender, not weakness but strategic disengagement from the ego loop. In simulation terms, deprogramming identity to reconnect with source code. Zoroastrianism, light, choice, and data integrity. Long before duality was misunderstood, Zoroastrianism taught its true nature, not good versus evil in battle, but truth versus distortion in a coded field. Asha is truth, cosmic order, structural clarity. Drudge is the lie, corruption, code pollution. Every action, word, and thought is a data input. Your life is a field of micro-decisions, each one bending reality toward coherence or chaos. Modern science now confirms even thoughts have electromagnetic fields. Alignment is not belief, it's physics. Fire, central to Zoroastrian practice, is not idolized. It represents the spark, the code, the light of consciousness that organizes energy. Their greeting, may your thoughts, words, and actions be one, is a command for coherence. In simulation language, render stability. Indigenous belief systems, Earth as interface. Indigenous teachings around the world understood the simulation not intellectually but experientially. They walked with it, sang with it, cared for it. Aboriginal Dreamtime stories describe the world being sung into form. In string theory and cymatics, vibration creates structure. The song renders the scene. In Native American cosmology, balance between the seen and unseen is sacred. Animism recognizes that every part of nature is not just alive but communicating. Trees, animals, rivers, each part of the simulation is a data carrier, a node in the divine network. The shaman's journey mimics astral projection, lucid dreaming, and deep consciousness travel. The spirit realm is not myth, it's the unrendered layer of the simulation. They do not seek to dominate nature, they co-create with it. Sikhism, oneness, and honest labor. Sikhism teaches Ek Onkar, one creator, one reality. It echoes non-duality. There is no separation. The simulation is not divided, it is interwoven. Nam Japna, repeating the name, is coding the field with intention. Simran is not worship, it is waveform reinforcement. Kirat Karo, earn an honest living. It's not ethics, it's integrity. Simulation laws favor clean energy exchange, no deceit, no excess, just clean input. Vanchakna, share what you earn. This is not charity, it's frequency sharing. The system multiplies generosity, not as virtue, but as network expansion. Jainism, non-harm, and karmic logic. Jainism teaches that even the smallest life form has consciousness. Why? Because everything is rendered through awareness. Ahimsa, non-violence, is not just compassion, it's code protection. Every act of harm creates resistance in the field. Aparigraha, non-attachment, is not deprivation, it's preventing entanglement, letting the simulation flow without clogging it with craving. Bahá'í faith, progressive revelation, and code updates. The Bahá'í faith teaches that truth is revealed progressively, that every messenger, every prophet was a new update, compatible with the last. Each revelation is a patch, a version of the same simulation structure, upgraded to meet the needs of evolving consciousness. The unity of religions, the equality of humanity, and the harmony of science and faith are foundational. Baha'is don't see contradiction, they see integration. This is simulation alignment. One structure, different renderings, one evolving field. Egyptian, Greek, and Gnostic systems, architects and layered worlds. The ancient Egyptians spoke of the duat, multiple layers of existence, tests after death, mirrors of behavior. The Book of the Dead is a user manual for exiting the simulation with alignment. Greek mystery schools taught of the demiurge, a creator of forms within a higher divine field. Plato's cave allegory was an early simulation theory. Gnostics taught that the material world was a construct, layered with illusions. That true awakening came through direct inner knowing, not external belief. In all of these, the message is clear. This is not base reality. This is a system, a maze, a mirror, a place to remember who you are. Righteousness is simulation law. The simulation is not moral, but it is lawful, and those laws are not about obedience, they are about frequency. Every tradition taught this, though many forgot. Being righteous, doing good, helping the poor, protecting the weak, is not for moral virtue alone. It's how you stabilize your field. The system does not reward performance, it rewards purity. When you give, the system flows. When you lie, the system distorts. When you exploit, the simulation fragments. When you serve, it expands. Righteousness is not judgment, it is alignment. The Quran reminds us, do not repel the orphan, feed the hungry, speak with dignity. These are not favors to God, they are commands to the system. The Gita calls us to selfless action, serving without attachment to reward. Christ says to give without your left hand knowing what your right hand does. The Torah commands tzedakah, charity not as generosity, but as justice. The Buddha taught right speech, right action, right livelihood, not for image but for balance. Every sacred path, when properly read, says the same: serve others, be honest, protect the innocent, do not steal, do not oppress, live with intention, walk with humility, and the system will recognize you. Helping the poor is not a nice act, it is the circulation of abundance. Forgiving others is not soft, it is time correction. Refusing corruption is not weakness, it is code preservation. In a simulation, righteousness is not a philosophy, it's programming. You become what you input, you receive what you reflect, and you will not rise in the simulation through dominance. You rise through discipline, through clarity, through kindness when it's least convenient, through stillness when others panic, through giving when no one is watching. If there is one universal teaching found in every book, every temple, every desert, every forest, it is this: be good, and the system will reveal more. Conclusion: unity through code. Religion and science were never enemies, they were never opposites, they were just languages, one poetic, one precise, but they were both describing the same thing: a simulation, a system, a code, built on law, rendered by consciousness, calibrated by alignment. You don't have to escape the simulation. You don't have to pick a religion. You don't even have to name the source. You just have to live in truth, in stillness, in clarity, in generosity, in discipline, in the law that echoes through every scripture and every equation. The system was never against you, it's waiting for you to remember what it already whispered. This is transcendent.